Hey guys, thanks for joining. Today we're gonna do a high intensity upper body workout. The beautiful thing about this workout is you need no equipment. High intensity is basically short little burst of work with a little bit of recovery time. So the whole idea is just to get your heart rate up, recover, get your heart rate up, recover. That way you can keep the intensity higher for a longer period of time. So this workout is comprised of 12 exercises, and they're going to be 30 seconds each. So doing one round of that is probably going to be good enough for a lot of people. But if you want to step it up a notch, you could do it another round of this 12 exercises a second time. Or if you're super fit and you want a really good workout, you could do 3 rounds of this. So I'm going to show you how to do all 12 exercises. I'll demo it once, but as I said, if you want to make it more challenging, just go through the round 2 or 3 more times. So for the warm-up, we're just going to get into doing jump jacks. Feel free to do a dynamic warm-up. There's going to be another dynamic warm-up post in another link, so you can use that. But we'll start with jump jacks just to keep this video short. Okay, so jump jacks are up and down, trying to get the heart rate up, increase the synovial fluid in your joints, basically get your body ready for workout. So let's pretend we did that for 30 seconds. The next one we're gonna do is just a regular old school push-up. So I'm gonna give you a modification on all these exercises to make them a little bit easier, or just in case you have injuries or you're working yourself back into fitness. So push up, just like this. Try to work on your depth, try to get that right angle in your elbows. Try to go all the way up so your elbows are fully extended. Keep your core tight. Try not to sink too much through your pelvis. So try not to do your push-ups like that or like that. Modification is from your knees, okay? So all the way down, all the way up. Keep your knees in a fixed position. Try to be a straight line from your knees, hips, and shoulders when you do them. So don't have your bum too high in there or hips too low, okay? So 30 seconds of push-ups. The next one is you're gonna do high knees for 30 seconds. This is to keep the heart rate up in between strength training movements. So high knees is running in place. Keep your knees about waist height. Try not to lean back. So when people get tired, they start leaning back because it allows them to bring their knees higher and it's easier for them. You're just cheating yourself. So if you do find you're too tired or getting up your knees that high is just too much for you, you can just jog in place, okay? That's a good modification for that one. So once again, you're gonna do 30 seconds of high knees. The next one is called a push-back push-up. So these are challenging. So if you guys are familiar, child's pose is a yoga move and it stretches your back. You're kind of doing a child's pose, but your knees are off the ground. You're kind of forward. So what you're trying to do is push back in your hips. So your hands are in front of you. You're going to come forward, fully extend your knees and your hips, do a push up, and then sit back in your hips again. Doing those for 30 seconds, you should be able to get maybe about 10 in there if you're going at a decent pace. Modification for that is you can do a child's pose, but keep your knees on the ground, and then do a push up, pivot from the knees. It's a modification for those. Once again, active recovery, getting the heart rate up, is we're gonna do a thing called quick feet. Basically, it's a football drill. And you're just trying to stay on the balls of your feet, move as quickly as you can. 30 seconds. Modification, just go slower. Okay. The lower and more athletic position, the faster you move, the harder it is. So I recommend trying to go as fast as you can to get your heart rate as high as you can. That way you get the full amount from this. So once again, another push-up movement. So this one's called a narrow push-up. They also call it a military push-up. So normal push-up, your elbows are a little flared out at a 45. This one is you're keeping your elbows right by your rib cage and pushing in. So military, another thing with military push-ups is typically your hands have to be under your shoulders. So when I worked for the military, we had to like physically stand above them and make sure their hands were under their shoulders. So narrow stance with your hands, elbows flared back, and push up. These load up your shoulders and your triceps a little bit more than a traditional push-up. It's essentially lifting more with your arms and less with your chest. Modification for those, once again, just doing from your knees. Still a really good workout. Okay, so the next one is giving your arms a little bit of a break, but still using them. They're called plank hip rollovers. So elbow plank, tailbone tucked, core tight. You're just gonna move your hips side to side. Give you a face-on view so you can see my pelvis kind of dips to one side and the other. You can do that from your knees. I do recommend you have a mat when you do that one because it didn't feel very good. So yeah, use a mat for those hip rollovers. What you're trying to do is stabilize through your obliques and pull your hips into position with the sides of your core opposed to pulling up with your upper body. What else we got? All right, we're almost done. Okay, so right after you do those hip rollovers for 30 seconds, you're gonna do a traditional plank for 30. Okay, so just static movement, no movement through your torso, and you're just holding. Tuck your tailbone, so straighten your lower back, pull in your lower abdominals. And don't forget to breathe. Next is a high plank chest. So I call this pretty much a slow mountain climber. So you're gonna be in the top of a push-up position. Once again, this is called a plank knee to chest. And you're just gonna drive your knee forward and back. What you're really trying to do is bring your knee up to your chest and really crunching through your abdominals. So like this in a plank position, trying to shorten the muscles in your abdominals. Keep yourself strong through the upper body. Don't forget to breathe. And another teaching cue, if you notice, my shoulders are slightly behind my hands, and then when I bring my knee forward, they kind of rock forward. I find I get a better workout that way, and a bit more of upper body. So one thing I didn't mention for this workout, you might need a bench, a chair, a couch, coffee table, anything that's about this high. Because we're gonna be doing two movements that require it. The first one's gonna be a tricep dip. So we've probably all seen them before, but I'll run through it. So tricep dip, you're gonna have your hands, knuckles facing forward, hands just about hip width apart. And there's two variations, straight-legged and bent knee. I'll show straight-legged first. You're gonna go down and up. A couple key things is when you do it, trying to get a right angle in your elbow, okay? Also, you want to keep your hands and butt close together. So a lot of people, when they first start, they bring their feet out and do that. And the farther your hips out, the more challenging it is on your shoulders, and you can hurt yourself. So by keeping your torso vertical and your butt close to your hands, it creates less tension on your shoulders. So, demo. The easier version is you walk your feet in, and you still keep your butt close to your hands, but this time you can use your legs to kind of help lift. Okay? So we're gonna do those for 30 seconds. Feel free to play around with those variations. Once again, if you want, you could do 30 seconds from your feet, and then if you get tired halfway through, then you can bend your knees and bring them in closer to finish off the set. All right, this next one, using the bench again. It's an incline push-up. So have your hands on the bench. You can bring your chest to the bench. Now, normally when I'm fresh, that is way too easy. But after doing all those other movements, you're gonna start to get fatigued and it's gonna be a lot more challenging. So don't be surprised if it's tough. I think a variation you could do is put your knees on the floor and just do it this way. And once again, perfect push-up position. Try to keep your torso and your full body in a straight line. And I think you'll enjoy that. And the last one of the day is a mountain climber. So we did a slow mountain climber, now we're gonna do a fast one. High plank position. Going fast, body weight on your back foot, middle foot doesn't touch. Whole goal there is get the heart rate up, put more tension on your shoulders, a little bit of core strength. So, those are the 12 exercises you're gonna do. If you want to go through it multiple times, maybe after you've done the mountain climbers, take a 30-second to a minute break just to recover, grab some water, and then go start again. Okay? So everything in that workout's 30 seconds. Feel free to give yourself 10 to 15 seconds in between each exercise and try to crush it. Okay, thanks for watching, guys.